Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna, Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Ram Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna Rama. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Well, that was fun. What do you do now? I heard this is like the end of an era or something. For Friday night is shifting to another format or something.
It's just getting better and better. More and more. We're not really out.
So it's not like we're abolishing Friday.
No, it's no words. We're upgrade. Upgrading, advancing.
Yeah.
More fun, more
Cool. All good. Hare Krishna. Vanchakalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhyevacha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. So when the marketing geniuses who invited me to come and speak today presented what Friday nights were, they said, well, pretty much you can do what you want. And I thought that's a dangerous thing. It's a dangerous option to put in front of some people. But I thought about this, and the topic that came to mind became sort of truncated and scrunched to fit on a poster, because I was thinking along the lines of, how do you know and why should I care? And that became care to know, question mark. So, you know, my background is not in marketing. In fact, I was going to go around the room and see what everyone's background is in, because everybody's got a unique angle of vision, unique reason for being here. And I expect some of you, how many are students actually at the UF, for example? So a bunch of people. And just to get an idea of who's here and how everybody is coming, happens to be in this room at this time, I thought just to go around and see how, if you're a student, or even if you're not a student, if you are a student, how did you choose your major? And if you're not a student right now, then how did you choose your current service or chosen activity? Just, it doesn't have to be a long thing, and I'm not trying to put everybody on the spot, just trying to be convivial on a Friday night so that we're not all just, you know, falling asleep. So we can start here just clockwise. If you have a mic to pass around, that's pretty cool. That way everybody can hear each other. And there's a reason for this too. I'm not just trying to fill up precious time. It comes back to the whole conversation that Krishna has with Arjuna later on.
My name is Gopal, and I'm serving here at Krishna House. And gosh, 12 years ago, I've been studying art photography at the college.
Hare Krishna, my name is Jonathan. I'm currently serving at the Krishna House, and I just wanted to practice Krishna consciousness full time in my life. I felt like it was the most important thing to do.
Cool, thank you.
Hi, I'm Sean. I work here at the UF, and I work in molecular biology.
In what?
Molecular biology?
Molecular biology, yes, yeah.
Hi, my name is Kiara. I studied psychology here at UF, but right now I'm at a Krishna House in Baltimore, Maryland.
Oh.
Hi there, my name is Presence, and I'm serving right now at Krishna House. And I feel like I got here through a process of deep listening.
Cool.
Hi, I'm Carl, and I'm studying film at the University of Florida. And I got to that because I didn't want to study anything else after studying for a couple of years.
Yeah, thanks.
Hi, my name is Santiago. My major is computer science at UF. I got into that because since I was little, I always wanted to study that.
Yeah, cool. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Chetan, and I'm studying computer science at UF. I'm doing my master's over here. And the reason I chose coding was like I liked it, and it also helped to prepare well.
Right. Thank you.
Hi everyone, I'm Raphael. I study political science and economics, and I'm here because Habi recommended me to come here and invited me.
Cool, thank you.
Gopal. I also serve here, but I'm here right now to see Ekendra.
I'm Janardana. I'm currently looking for work in the area, just moved here. And come here just to be part of these programs. It's always very uplifting.
I'm Joey. I'm a student. I study computer engineering. And I guess I chose it by chance. People told me I should be an engineer because I was good at math, and my brother was computer science, so I just followed him. So yeah, and here we are.
Here we are.
Hello, my name is Athay. I graduated recently from UF, major biology, and currently I'm working in a clinic as a medical assistant.
Hi, my name is Krish. I'm a UF student freshman, pursuing dual degree in computer science and finance. I chose this path because I was really interested in fintech.
Hi everyone, I'm Maya. I graduated, I guess technically in 2022 with a bachelor's in early childhood education. But I'm a musician and here to serve Krishna House.
Hi, my name is Carmen. I serve here at the Krishna House, and here because these programs are very enlightening and very fun. The connections that are made here are amazing. So it's beautiful.
Hi, my name is Champak, and I serve here at the Krishna House. Before coming to practice bhakti, I was a actress, a dancer, and a yoga teacher. And I am, since coming to bhakti, trying to learn how to love.
Hi, my name's Anthony. I cut the vegetables here. I'm really into fitness, music, and cooking, and I followed that all the way to Gainesville.
Cool.
How's it going? My name is Jackson. I serve here at Krishna House and eat prasadam regularly. And and before I came here, I was just another rascal college student. Hi, my name is Mayur, and I study chemical engineering because I wanted to prove to myself I could do something hard.
Hello, my name is Bruce, and I used to work in the medical field because I wanted to take care of people, and I used to look into mysticism a lot. And currently, I live in the ashram, so I can take care of people and practice the mystical process of bhakti yoga.
All right.
Hello, Hare Krishna. My name is Advaita, and I actually graduated art and art history nearly 30 years ago. And the reason why I was interested in that is because without beauty and ability to recognize beauty around us, it would be very difficult to properly and fully appreciate life itself.
Yeah, good. Sure, thank you. All right. How many students are there at UF right now? Anybody know? No, not in this room, but like how many are enrolled in the thousands of people? It's 6, yeah, that's a lot. It's a big world. Many people in the world right now, billions or something. I wanted to find out from everyone what they are doing and how they got to be doing it. And I shouldn't exclude myself. My name is Ekendra, and long story, but I first started becoming interested in consciousness before I knew what Krishna consciousness was. I was also in theater, and I found it very interesting how you can be in one. If you've seen a movie, you've seen theater, you know the effect that it has on you. You know, I studied film at New York University. I wanted to do something that would be beneficial somehow to people's consciousness, not bring people down. But I thought there must be a science to that, because I knew from my own experience that you watch something and it's like, oh man, that kind of brought me down, or that made me feel so good. I wish I could do the same for someone else. And I knew that there was a science to that somewhere. Then later on, I found about Bhagavad Gita, and there's a whole science of consciousness itself that helped me to come to terms with that. But in the the Bhagavad Gita itself, Krishna is having this conversation with Arjuna. And especially in the 7th chapter and other places in the Bhagavad Gita, the conversation takes a turn to where Krishna says, now I'm going to tell you everything. I'm going to tell you everything about everything because I'm going to tell you about myself. And I'm going to tell you this because you're my friend and because you're interested in me. And we see this in not only in our chosen course of action in our lives, but also in relationships with people that we have. We find somebody who likes us, we like them, who has some interest in us, we have some interest in them. And you find out that if you have some mutual interest, you can learn a lot about a person. And if you don't have that interest, you won't learn a lot about the person. And what happens in the Bhagavad Gita, it's a long conversation about Arjuna getting to know Krishna, because Krishna understands that Arjuna really is interested in him. And the title of tonight's thing was going to be, how do I know and why should I care? And oftentimes people who practice a spiritual path or religion, they may be accused, as I was early on, that how do you know such and such is true? How do you know the Bhagavad Gita has any validity? How do you know the path that you're on is not just a fiction, right? And so there's maybe an artificial difference in the world between people that say that, okay, you people have faith on this side, you believe something, and then there's people on the other side in the hard sciences that's like, we have knowledge, we have scientific data to back up what our knowledge is, you people just have faith. But in reality, you have to have faith to know anything. And faith really starts with interest. You have some interest in a subject, like molecular biology. You don't become a molecular biologist unless you have some interest in that, unless something pulls you toward that. Like, for example, when I was in high school, I made the mistake of taking a chemistry class. I say mistake because otherwise I was a good student. Everyone said, you're such a good student, you know, you're so smart, you should take chemistry. And not only chemistry, but advanced chemistry. So I thought, okay, I'm full of myself. I'll sit in front of this chemistry class. That was a mistake because I had no interest in chemistry. So I didn't learn anything in chemistry. My average in chemistry for the year was 27, which brought down my GPA considerably. And years later, I saw the teacher that I had in the chemistry class, perfectly fine fellow, good guy, smart guy. I saw him in a diner somewhere, and he said, Eric, where did I go wrong? And I said, Mr. Crossman, you didn't go wrong. I just didn't have the interest, so I didn't learn anything. And so when it comes to any topic, you have to have some interest or you won't learn anything. And that's the same thing in spiritual life. It's another kind of knowledge. It's another kind of tradition of knowledge. But it requires just as much faith in that as it does to sit in a chemistry class and actually take notes. Okay, oh, this is what a covalent bond is. This is what an electron shell is. This is what all these things actually are about. But you won't learn it unless you're interested in it. And ultimately, you won't be interested in something unless you, at the heart of it, love what you're going for. Because let's face it, life is very short. You can't study everything. You can't know everything. And learning things has a lot more to do with what we love than just, gathering data or clicking on links and, thinking that we're absorbing information. And when we talk about the Bhagavad Gita is, in one sense, actually in every sense, it's the culmination of all knowledge about everything. It's said there that if you understand the supreme source of all phenomena, then you understand all the phenomena. In other words, across the street, they teach a lot of who and what and where and when, but they don't teach any why. And without understanding that, it's hard to really make sense of what's going on in politics and in the world, in the news, in any kind of field of study. If you don't know why. In other words, the why is, why should I care? What is there for me? And who am I anyway? And why am I here? And so that sparked for me the title of this. How do you know, and why should I care? By Krishna. Obviously, there's a lot to say. Knowledge is a very personal thing. And everyone has their own experiences. It means something to them, and they don't mean so much to other people. It's very individual. And mostly, we don't know something until we ask something. And we only ask if we're interested. I was talking about this on Monday or Tuesday, whenever it was. That how do you feel when someone asks you a question that you know the answer to, or they think you know the answer to? You feel very good. You feel like, oh, I've got something to contribute here. But that's how we learn things. We learn things not by independently researching every single little thing, but by hearing. And we hear about what we're interested in. And what we're interested in is what we, at heart, we love. Just like when I just recently took a couple plane trips, I was interested in going up north to visit my family because I love them. And I did not independently research the credentials of the pilots on any of the flights that I took, which if you think about it, is kind of wild because here's somebody, I'm putting my life in their hands. I'm not just, looking for the most comfortable chair, but think about it. You're sitting in a chair in a tube thousands of feet in the air. That's a risky proposal. It's very risky. Just like if you're going in for surgery, you want to know that your surgeon is like a good one. But you wouldn't do something like go in for surgery or get on a plane if you didn't have some desire to fulfill. It's not like you hear about some plane crashing and you think, that's it, I'm never going on a plane again, although people are like that. Or you hear something about a malpractice lawsuit. That, oh, this guy did a bad thing during the surgery. I'm not going in for surgery. No, if you want to live, you'll get the surgery. So you can't independently maybe verify their credentials, but because you have a desire, that'll get you in the door to get done what you need to get done. And I think it's funny how, you said there's 63,000 students at UF, and I don't see 63,000 people in this room. So it proves another point that Krishna makes, that out of thousands among men, one might endeavor for perfection. And knowledge about Krishna is the ultimate perfection because, what does he say? I'll just read this one verse. This is in the 7th chapter. It's called Knowledge of the Absolute. And I'll read the Sanskrit and read the English, and then we'll talk about it a little bit. He says to Arjuna, Jnanam teham savigyanam idam vakshyamya sheshataha yajgyatva neha bhuyo nyaj gyatavyam avashishyate. I shall now declare to you in full this knowledge, both phenomenal and numinous. This being known, nothing further shall remain for you to know. And those of you who've seen copies of the Bhagavad Gita, it's about this thick at its thickest. So if you think about just a volume that thick, containing everything that there is to know, it's sort of like a tall claim, right? It's like, okay, you're going to tell me everything and it's going to fit in there. How are you going to do that? But in the commentary, Prabhupada says, complete knowledge includes knowledge of the phenomenal world, the spirit behind it, and the source of both of them. This is transcendental knowledge. The Lord wants to explain the above-mentioned system of knowledge because Arjuna is Krishna's confidential devotee and friend. In the beginning of the 4th chapter, this explanation was given by the Lord, and it is again confirmed here. Complete knowledge can be achieved only by the devotee of the Lord in disciplic succession directly from the Lord. Therefore, one should be intelligent enough to know the source of all knowledge, who is the cause of all causes, and the only object for meditation in all types of yoga practice. And I highlight this next sentence. When the cause of all causes becomes known, then everything knowable becomes known, and nothing remains unknown. The Vedas say, Tasmin I Bhagavo Vidyate Sarvam Idam Vidyatam Bhavati, which is the Sanskrit for what he just said. I'll read it again. When the cause of all causes becomes known, then everything knowable becomes known, and nothing remains unknown. When I read that, it took me aback, because the first time that I encountered the Bhagavad Gita, my experience was, this is the sort of thing that everyone should know. This idea of understanding, okay, in this world we see solids, liquids, gases, radiant energy in space. Those are the things that we can see and put under microscopes and measure with instruments. But then there are other things. There's mind, there's intelligence, there's false ego. These things aren't really dealt with so much in contemporary science, but they're there. It's like the problem of what animates you've got structures of matter, which means the bodies, and then you've got the experience that we have of being in these structures of matter. That's slowly becoming a topic of study, even in universities. But when I read the Bhagavad Gita, I thought, wow, this is like the missing key to understanding how matter is moving and why matter is moving and who we are. And this is pretty essential knowledge. Boy, everybody should know this. But then I quickly found out that not everybody wants to know this. Hardly anybody wants to know this. I tried to interest my friends in this, and they're like, not interested. Just inexplicably not interested. Nobody in my family was interested in this. And I thought, well, why not? And then I thought about this. It's just a matter of personal interest. You're either interested or you're not. We're interested in a certain thing, a certain person, a certain course of study, a certain course of activity, or we're not. I spent a lot of my youth not studying chemistry, but learning how to play guitar. So now I don't know much chemistry, but I can play guitar. It didn't enhance my bottom line any, but that's a whole nother topic. But we learn what we're interested in, and what we're interested in, at the heart of it is what we love. And Krishna is sensing this from Arjuna, sensing some real interest. Just like when we choose a spouse, it has to be somebody you're really interested in, because you're going to be talking to this person for a lot of years. You're going to be spending some serious time. So there has to be some serious mutual interest. Otherwise, most people's favorite topic of conversation is themselves. And if you give somebody the opportunity to talk about themselves, they're going to be your best friend. Like the other day, I had a conversation with my sister, and honestly, she's not here to contest this, but conversations with my sister basically mean me listening and her talking, But I knew that she just wanted to talk. So I let her talk for an hour and a half. And I knew that was doing wonders for our relationship, which was otherwise not so good. And when you give someone the space to talk about themselves, they're loving you. And in the Bhagavad Gita, essentially, it's a conversation between two friends, and they're really interested in each other's well-being. Arjuna is really interested to hear from Krishna. Because why? Not just because Krishna is really good-looking and smart and funny and powerful and rich, although he is those things, but because in the course of Bhagavad Gita, it comes out that Krishna is actually the source of everything. He's the person behind all phenomena. And this makes him even more interesting. So the conversation just keeps getting deeper and deeper and deeper. And Krishna, sensing Arjuna's genuine interest, is just like telling him, yeah, I'm like this. And if you do this, you'll get this result. And I'm like this, and you can experience me in this way and that way, the other way. And this is how spiritual life really, really happens. It starts with interest. Interest gradually turns into love for your subject. And you'll find out that there's an endless, it's endless. It's really endless. It's not a static pursuit. It's not just something that you say that, okay, I believe in this. I am a card-carrying Bhagavad Gita Hindu, whatever. but it changes your life. It changes your perspective. It changes what you do. It changes what you want to do. It changes who you want to hang out with. It changes what you want to talk about, think about, and spend your life doing. That's ultimately what it comes down to. Krishna says later on that if you bhaktyamam abhijanati, but if you really want to know me, then you have to love me. And that's true about any subject, about any person, about any course of study, about any topic you might be interested in. We learn about stuff because we're interested. And at the heart of that is love for the subject. So I had a bunch of other notes I could go on, but I'd like to hear from you all if there's any questions or comments, because there's so much more that can be said, obviously. It's a big, big topic. How do you know, and why should I care? Yes.
Sounds a little daunting or maybe like overwhelming in a sense. Should I want that? Should one want that? Or is it for the better? What is that experience like? Or what was it like for you?
Good question. Yeah, I mean, I didn't expect to have my life change just by picking a book off the shelf. I didn't expect that at all. But I guess what it comes down to for the individual is how much sense does it make to you? How much sense does it make compared to other things that you might be hearing in the world? Right? I was saturated in my youth and still now with, just for example, music has always been a passion of mine. In fact, so much of a passion that whatever mood that I was in especially in my early life, I would have a huge music collection. And I tried to find just that musical piece that would enhance whatever mood that I was feeling. Maybe some of you are like that. And it got to a point where I kind of ran out of music to match my moods. And then not long after that, after I finished reading the Bhagavad Gita, I got to the end and I thought, I got to find out more about this. This is compelling. This is very interesting. There's something here that I feel like has great value for me. So I looked up where the local batch of devotees of Krishna was. I said, what do you people do? What do people do? And they said, why don't you come tomorrow and find out? I said, well, what time are your services? I said, well, our first one is at 4 a.m. I said, what time is your second service? I wasn't accustomed to getting up early. So they said, well, if you come at 7, then we'll have a class and we'll have a kirtan and we'll have breakfast. And she didn't have to say anything but breakfast because I showed up. And I spent some time in a situation like this, talking and hearing about Bhagavatam, Bhagavad Gita. And then when it came time for the kirtan, just like we had here, people were dancing. And at first, I was a little put off by that because I thought, am I expected to get up and dance now in public in front of everyone? I don't know about that. But I after attending that kirtan music session and subsequent sessions, I started to really appreciate how I felt afterwards. I felt in a way that none of my musical selections at home had any meaning for me anymore. After a nice kirtan at the temple, I'd go home, look through my musical selection, there was nothing there. So in one sense, I felt like I was out. It's like, get rid of this music. I'm done with this for now. So in one sense, it was daunting because I could feel that there is something changing. But at the same time, I felt very clearly that it was for my own benefit. That was at least was clear. Especially when prasadam came around, when it was breakfast time, and there was dal and rice and sabji and chapatis and sweets. This is what they had for breakfast. And I thought, if this is what you people have for breakfast and this is the sort of literature you read, yeah, just, fine. Shave my head immediately. I'm your man. Because I felt that there was some benefit in it for me. And the tricky part was that my social connections outside the Krishna conscious connections, didn't share my enthusiasm in the slightest. So there was a tension there. There was a very keen social tension. But I just felt that it was so beneficial to me. And I felt like nowhere else are things like this being discussed openly, plainly, and clearly, and deeply. I felt like these were the really important questions of life, and everybody else was just like distracting themselves from these questions, distracting themselves. And I didn't want to just be distracted by the stuff that other people were distracting themselves with anymore. So it was not without its difficulties, but I'm not sorry I did it. I'm not sorry I did it. This was in the late 1980s. And let's say it also, I should say that in the late 1980s, there was no Krishna house like there is now. Things were very different. You know, everything was people that labeled themselves Hare Krishnas were personae non grata in a lot of parts of the world. It was not an easy thing. But you have to be true to what you know yourself within. That's really to thine own self be true, I guess you have to say. You have to have the convictions that A, what you're hearing is valuable, and B, that it's valuable for you, and that it's valuable enough that you're willing to do something about it. Because that's another thing with knowledge, that you don't really know something until you act on that knowledge. So action has to be there to support what you know. Because now you know too much, in one sense. There's other things that could be said. That's just all that comes to mind right now. Thanks for asking. Anthony.
Thank you. I love your attitude the other day. I stand by that. Like yourself, like everything sings to me and it makes a lot of sense. And I was immediately interested in kind of what Bruce said too, the mystic art of bhakti yoga. What do you find hard to accept, or what did you find hard to accept? Maybe even preposterous in like the cantos or the Gita, because I'll come across some things and I'll just be like, what?
Mm-hmm.
I'll have to sit with it I'm still sitting with it. Like some of it is just so profound that I just can't wrap my mind around it. So I guess my question would be, what were some of your initial struggles in coming to Krishna consciousness, and how did you overcome them?
Great question. Funny, the first thing that comes to mind is the chanting. Because now I can't imagine life without chanting. It seems like so very important. But because it's not something you can just logically wrap your mind around, it seems like it's coming from outside the system entirely. It's not something that you can just say, yes, we chant because this X, Y, and Z material reason. That was the thing that was, I think, most foreign to me at the beginning, because the philosophy is sound, but it also recommends chanting, 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 and chanting. And so I thought, well, who am I to say that I know everything? I don't. So maybe there's something to it that I'll learn in time, or I'll experience in time. So I thought, well, if this claims to be such an integral part of what this practice is, I'm going to try it. I'm going to see what happens. I'm going to see where my consciousness goes. I'm going to see what's different in my own experience, and see what happens. And I'm glad I did, because I can't claim to have, tremendous revelations of this, that, and the other. But now I know that I'm attracted to the chanting in a way that I wasn't before. I'm genuinely attracted to it. It's something that I appreciate more. it's a very internal thing, because I would shy away from saying anything about the chanting itself that has to do with, logic and reason, except that, like I say, it's coming from outside the system that I grew up knowing about. There are other things too. When you get into the literature and find out things that don't quite tally with our, the view of reality that we might have grown up with going to school and stuff. The structure of the universe and things like that. Like, whoa. But at the same time, another thing that the meditation does is that if you really pay attention, you become humble. You become more and more gradually aware of your own place in the universe. And it's a pretty small place in the universe, relatively speaking. It's like, you go to the grocery store and there's a spill in aisle 7. Somebody knocked over the cran grape juice, and they got to get a mop and they got to get a water bucket and they got to clean that up. Why? Because there's ants in aisle 7 and they found the cran grape juice. And if you go over and look at the ants on the cran grape juice, and you look at the aisle of the juices, you think, what do those ants understand about the ingredients in all these bottles in aisle 7, aisle 8, aisle 9, or even the Publix franchise in its entirety? Or what do they know about me, who's standing over them, looking at them lap up the cran grape juice? How expanded is that ant's consciousness? Is it just thinking sweet, good, sweet, good, good, sweet, sweet, good, good, good? Probably that's as far as it goes. And really, from the perspective of the size of the universe, the great possibility that there are a lot more advanced civilizations out there beyond what we have on this earth. And they're looking down at us and we're going, sweet, sweet, good, good. How much can we really understand? We can understand enough to keep us going at the grape juice. So I look at the chanting and, in one sense, my whole practice of Krishna consciousness in that way, that my own consciousness is pretty tiny. I joke with my wife sometimes. What did they say in class today? Well, God is big, you are small. If you come away with that understanding, and at the same time say, well, I can still have a relationship with God. I can have a relationship, a real live relationship. That's pretty exciting. That I can, even though my consciousness might be as tiny as the ants, relatively speaking, in the perspective of the universe, you can still have that direct relationship with the source of your being and derive tremendous satisfaction from that. Whether anybody else around, the other ants care about you or not, you have that experience, and it's a personal thing. So it's a matter of whether you want to keep going, whether the evidence is enough for you, that stacks up enough in the favor, on the scale keeps, tipping towards, okay, yeah, Krishna consciousness has a lot to offer, and you keep going.
You finished by saying there were a couple points you made about how you see Krishna consciousness has a lot to offer and you keep going. You were intrigued by the chanting and was like, what? Let's see how far this can take me. At this early stage, I often feel sometimes like I'm hanging on by a thread. I'm out here, I'm doing service, I live in the ashram. So it's like you could step 2 steps out that door and it's a whole nother universe. And there's not much it would take to just be out, how could you talk on maintaining the faith?
Good question. I mean, like I always say, there's so many different ways to answer that. I'll start with an example of my own, you might find comical and maybe even ridiculous, but my family background is Scottish. And there's a joke about Scottish people that they like to drink, but they don't like to pay for it. So I was a bargain hunter, still am. And at the time that I found the Bhagavad Gita on a friend's bookshelf, and I started visiting the temple, I was offered the option to live in the ashram full-time, rent-free. Having a Scottish background, this was a powerful draw. This made tremendous economic sense to me. Not only philosophical sense, but it just, it really strummed my heartstrings majorly. So I had that opportunity to live with devotees for a good long time. And in doing so, I thought, I've made the right choice. These people, a lot of them, as I was saying the other day, they may not be the sort of people that I would have gravitated towards in my other life. A lot of personalities were in the ashram that were like, okay, he's a devotee too, I guess. But because I decided to stick with it, it just became, I want to say, when I then had the opportunity to associate with old friends and family again, and to really just put myself in that environment, which had really held me tightly for many, many years, I could see that there was only so far that relationship could go. It could only go so far, because as soon as I wanted to talk about something that wasn't just solids, liquids, gases, radiant energy, and space, including sports and rock and roll and movies, and I wanted to talk about something deeper than that, the conversation was over. It was just over. So my experience was that those relationships themselves just kind of reached a dead end, because I wanted to go further and nobody else did. But then when I came back and spent time talking with these Hare Krishna people, they not only understood my attraction for all these other things that I had an interest of in my life, but they could put it all into perspective. Like, this is what this means. I can understand why you could go there. And this is what it means in the larger perspective. And it just seems so refreshing. Like, it's a much bigger world. It's a much bigger world. So, yeah, as you say, you can go 2 steps outside and it's a whole different universe. But really, do you want that? Most people with a sensitive stomach just spend a couple minutes looking at the news, and you need to reach for some medication, because it's just getting really, really bad.
Consciously and intelligently, and as the soul becomes uncovered, per se, it's quite obvious. No, though there's this strange little fella within that, doesn't like to. It's like trying to get a baby to take a bath who really doesn't want to take a bath. He's just running around. He's all slippery. You can't get him in the bath. It's kind of what the false ego is like. It's just this mechanism that's like slippery and running all over the place and doesn't want to sit still. Though from that space of higher knowing, from that space of pure soul, it's obvious, yes, of course I would stay. So how do we, especially in the early stage, get that slippery false ego in the bath?
Well, the most direct way to deal with that, I would say, is to chant Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, and pay attention. That's really it. Because there's you, there's the mantra, and there's your mind, and there's the super soul, and that slippery false ego is going to drag you everywhere if you let it. But if you pay attention to what you're saying, that's what real chanting means. It's not just that you say something over and over again. Okay, I've reached my limit. Okay, I'm done. But if you really pay attention, you notice the mind wants to go, nope. It's a good analogy, the slippery baby, because that's what it is. But that's our job. That's the whole. That's the goal of the meditation, is meditation, not just repetition, but meditation. And it takes some energy. You know, you get done with it, some attentive chanting, and you need a glass of water. But it's worth it. That's the real arena. That's the sporting event that we have to deal with. It's us. It's the mantra. It's our mind, and the super soul. If you pay attention, you get so much more benefit than if you don't. That's the process. Yes, mine.
Sort of the opposite way of what I think what brings you joy.
Oh, just seeing you all, just chanting and seeing people responding and dancing. It's like, wow. Like I was saying the other day, you think that you found something valuable and interesting. And then when someone else finds it valuable and interesting, it's like, oh, it's not just me. Wow. It's like it really is an inclusive thing. It's not just me. That's where the happiness comes in. It's not just you. It's really meant for everyone. And that's why part of the practice of Krishna consciousness is that you find some way to share it somehow with somebody else, because when you do that, you feel so much more of it yourself. It's a rule of teaching that you learn by teaching, not just by your own private meditation or study, but you learn by having the opportunity to share it. Yes, Mrs. Jumper.
Thank you for such a wonderful class, and I could have guessed that you had a background in theater. But my question is, I was wondering if you could speak a little bit more about the benefits of the practice of Krishna consciousness that is available to anyone who practices, how it's a science, and what realizations we can have and experiences we can have in the practice, and a little bit about like the goal of the practice.
How much time do we have? No, seriously, I don't want to go too much over time, but of course, a number of things come to mind. First thing is that I was talking about the correlation between interest and love and knowledge. And if you have some interest in, let's say, just basic transcendental knowledge, you don't have to go farther than the second chapter of Bhagavad Gita to get some serious relief from some major anxiety. Because aside from public speaking, what is the biggest fear most people have? The unknown. The big unknown is what happens after death, really. But I think public speaking is a greater fear than death for most people. But the way that Krishna deals with that fear of death problem in the second chapter is so matter of fact. Like, you go through all these changes in your body, and death is just another change. You don't die, it's just another change. When your car dies, you don't just never drive, you get another car. And so that, for me, for my own experience, was like, whoa, I don't die. That's a load off, you know? So right there, that was like a big boost. Like, okay, just starting with that not dying thing, that seems like, that's a lot of blood pressure points go down, like seriously, right there. And then it just goes on from there, because the implications are, okay, if I don't die, what are the implications? Well, obviously that I go on living. And then, well, what does that mean? What kind of life do I go on living? Well, one in which you don't die. Let's not forget that one. That's a major bonus. But then you start to get a sense that everything that we're doing here, we're talking about Krishna, we're chanting together, we're taking prasadam, we're eating together, we're exchanging our views based on all the things that we're doing. You get a sense that that just keeps going on and on and on and gets better and better and better the more you do it. So those things, at least for me, are big faith builders, as they say. It's like, okay, I'll take this one step on the little bit of faith that I have, and it leads to, guess what, something even better. It's not that you reach a plateau, and then it's like, well, okay, that's it. As far as we go, it just keeps on getting better and better. It just keeps on getting better. I mean, that's what spirit means as opposed to matter. Because matter, what does it do? It comes into existence, it hangs out for a while, dwindles and dies, and then you're done. Matter just goes through those changes. But if we're talking about something that the property that animates the matter during all those changes, what is that? What are the properties of spirit? If we can understand the properties of matter just through microscopes and things like that, if we really study what spirit is, what does it do? What is the nature of spirit? What does it mean when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, Jivara Svarupoya Krishnara Nityadas, that you're eternally a servant of Krishna? What does that mean? What does that do for you? And you slowly find out that it means that you feel very, very happy. I mean, at the bottom line is, people want to be happy rather than miserable. And you can experience yourself as spirit, as different from the body. That to me is, I mean, that, you can take that to the bank. Of course, they won't honor it, but you know what I mean? That's the most valuable thing. And it just keeps getting better. Hare Krishna.
And you answered, I still have another question off of the, but also the point of the last time.
Well, I hope you've paid your debt to society. I hope you've learned your lesson. We'll talk about clans. We come from a very tight-lipped clan. So what happens now?
Final Friday program, we will have our last Friday here some.
I think it goes to Charlie. Yeah. No, I want to dance here. I do, but not as good as that. But I could play. I'll play for a while. I need to see if my hands start to fall off.
Hare Krishna. Should we dim the lights?
Leave it as it is. It's all about the experience. Whoa. There you go. Hare Krishna. How many of you have done meditation before? Kirtan? Oh, who was here about to experience kirtan or meditation or group meditation for the first time? First time. Okay, a couple of first time. So it's very simple. We're like sing-alongs. So it's going to be call and response, which means in this case, I say and then you all repeat. Your point of reference is there on the wall, maybe on a screen we'll see, but it's right there. 16 words. We can try 4 at a time. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna.
Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare.
Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare.
Hare Rama, Hare Rama.
Hare Rama,
Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Rama,
And when that's put in rhythm and melody, then it sounds something like this. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Bolo. Hare Krishna,
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Oh, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Oh, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Oh, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Rama Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare. Oh, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama. Oh. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare. Bolo, Maya. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram. Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram. Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare.
Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, 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 Hare Hare. Nitai Gauranga, Nitai Gauranga. Nitai Gauranga, Nitai Gauranga. Nitai Gauranga, Nitai Gauranga. Nitai Gauranga, Nitai Gauranga. Nitai, 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 Nitai Gauranga. Nitai, 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 Nitai Gauranga. Gaura, Gaura, Gaura Hare. Gaura, Gaura, Gaura Hare. Gaura Hare, Gaura Hare. Gaura Hare, Gaura Hare. Nitai Gauranga, Nitai Gauranga. Nitai Gauranga, Nitai Gauranga. Gaura, Gaura, Gaura Hare. Nitai 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 Gaura, Gaura, Gaura Hare. Gaura, Gaura, Gaura Hare. Nitai Gaura, Gaura, Gaura Hare. Gaura, Gaura, Gaura Hare. Nitai 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 Gaura, Gaura, Gaura Hare. Gaura, Gaura, Gaura Hare. Gaura, Gaura, Gaura Hare. Go Premanande. Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Hare. Gora, 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 Hare. Nitai, Gora, 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 Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. He gets it. He gets it. It's a never-ending story. It's a never. It's an infinity loop. You might continue that as you approach your dinner in your mind and in your heart, and after the dinner, before you go to bed, you might continue. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna. And if you are fortunate, you might dream of Krishna. And in the morning, and in the morning when you're in the shower, you might remember Hare Krishna. I have one more thing to say. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Hare. Haribol! It is always hard to stop But hey, don't worry. We do this every Monday, every Wednesday in Plaza, every Friday here. So Jackson will fill you up with some news.
I just wanted to say one thing. Not that right now. But this first verse of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and his 8 verses of the Shikshashtakam, Shiksha instruction, spiritual instruction, and Ashtakam 8 verses. He says toward the middle and toward the end of that first verse, the Sankirtan movement is the prime benediction for humanity at large because it spreads the rays of the benediction moon. It is the life of all transcendental knowledge. It increases the ocean of transcendental bliss. And it enables us to fully taste the nectar for which we are always anxious. Haribo!
Thank you so much to Ekendra Das for his wonderful, wonderful talk and kirtan. Thank you to Advaita Acharya Prabhu. Thank you to Arjuna Prabhu for your beautiful flute playing. And also to the cooks, Nate Prabhu and Abhi. And who else are we missing? Who else cooked this evening? Are there any in here who cooked? No. Well, thank you to all the dancers. Thank you to Bruce. Thank you to Mayor. Thank you to Janardana. Thank you to Jonathan. And thank you to Sarav and friends, to Joey, to Adwai, to everyone who came out this evening. And all of the brand new people as well. To Carl and what is your Santiago? Yes, yes. And Abhi, your dear friend. Yeah, Raphael. Thank you all so much for coming. And so now we're having an upgrade. More is the theme. And so instead of having this Friday program, we'll be having a Friday community group and free yoga at the Plaza on Wednesdays from 5 to 6. And we'll be having a Monday meditation from 6 to 7:30. So things are just getting better and better and better and better. More. And so this evening we'll be having prasadam on the side porch after a quick announcement from Champak Alata, our new leader of Monday meditations and also our wonderful yoga teacher for the Wednesday programs. So come meet us for prasadam after this quick announcement.
Hare Krishna, everyone. Thank you so much for coming. If you loved the program tonight, say Haribo. Nice. So yeah, basically what Jackson said is we want to give you all more and more opportunities to connect with this spiritual practice, to connect with Krishna, to connect with all of us here at Krishna House, your practice and feel more and more community and enlivenment in your spiritual life. So we have 3 opportunities for you to connect deeper. 1, every Monday. Actually, the Monday program does not start next week, but the following week. Okay, so we will still have our Tuesday program this coming week, and then the following week we'll be starting on Mondays from 6 to 7:30 p.m. Meditation Mondays, and that is going to be a guided meditation, a discussion, and kirtan. And of course, prasadam, some food for you all. And on Wednesdays at the Plaza from 5 to 6 p.m. outside, free yoga class, 1-hour yoga class. So you can move your body, connect to something awesome, and just let go of stress. And if you want to join our 6-week growing Bhakti community group to systematically study and learn and go deeper, that's going to be with my husband Gopal Krishna and myself, and we are going to be facilitating these discussions with you so we can systematically study what is bhakti, what is the soul, what are the practices, ask questions and become like a family. I've been facilitating these groups since many, like 10 years or something like that, and they're super powerful. So if you want to join, it is free, but we would like you all to register You can scan me here, as in that QR code, to register for our Friday Night Live 2.0. So dinner will be free for attendees only. You need to register and come on time, 6:30 to 8 p.m. and then dinner afterwards. So it is free, but we're asking you, let's go on this journey together and register. How does that sound? Does that sound something you would like to do to go deeper in discussing and exploring bhakti? Okay, if you're interested and you want to register and you want to grab your friend to register and you want to grab your other friend who's never even been here to register and you want to tell everybody to register and make this a massive, exciting group, say Haribo! Would you like to add anything?
Haribo! Yeah, it's going to be a really wonderful program. And so we look forward to having whoever's interested. And come out to Wednesday Yoga next Wednesday. It's going to be awesome. And yeah, let's eat.
Yeah, 2 weeks Monday.
Yes, 2 weeks Mondays. Again, thank you all so much for coming out and for closing this beautiful program with Gornitai. And yeah, what a blessing. Hare Krishna.
And if anyone has any questions about the Friday program, you can come see me and Gopal.
Dude, you gotta do it well. Y'all don't understand, it's like, it takes a certain formula of devotion to your voice to get to kind of like Yeah, no, actually, no, bro, we don't have a drum. Yeah. Carmen, or the drummer on
Best boy, best percussion, best vocal, best percussion. What are you doing?
I'm sure you can art. And then she dropped most for the fire border on the part of the
Exactly. I'm just really crazy.
Looking at it, I've been looking at it for 2 hours. And it just sort of, I like that. Tomorrow or not.
No. No quiero. No quiero. ¿Ah? No quiero. No quiero. Ok, no necesitas solo I'm trying to get her to leave. I told her. Either you go or I'm going to sleep. Big bummer, huh? Hey, bro. And that's okay.